Awakening to your miraculous shift. 7 divine signs confirmed for prophetic transformation in the heart of a quaint English village. Just when faith seemed fragile, a spark ignited the air. Mary, a devoted mother, knelt beneath the weathered stones of their ancient church, the flickering candles casting a warm glow on her worn hands clasped in prayer. The village spoke in hushed tones. Tonight, something miraculous is about to happen. Each villager felt the electric anticipation pulsing through their veins, a whisper of the divine promising restoration. As the congregation gathered, sighs of hope filled the air, their shared breaths mingled with the scent of incense, and the ancient stones seemed alive with a sacred energy. Just last week, Daniel, her precious son, lay fighting a battle against a fierce illness that puzzled the best doctors. Hope danced like a fragile flame in Mary's heart, destined to be fanned by the collective prayers of her community. That first evening, her voice trembled as she led their petitions. "Saint Jude, patron of lost causes, hear our prayers." The words spilled from her lips with a fervor that sent ripples through the crowd. It was as if a divine wind swept through the chapel, rustling the pages of sacred texts, lifting the spirits of the weary. It felt real. It felt powerful. They envisioned Daniel healed, running through the fields with laughter, free of pain like a bird unleashed. The third night, the atmosphere thickened with expectancy. A hush fell over the congregation as Mary shared the tale of a miracle that once turned the tide, how a man once blind was given sight in this very church. Just then, a gust of wind blew through an open window, extinguishing the candles momentarily. Gasps filled the room. "Have faith," a voice cried out. "The darkness is but a testament to the light that's coming." Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As days bled into nights, sorrow wrapped around Mary like a shroud. Yet she continued to lead her flock, hands raised high in hope, tears glistening like dew on morning grass. "Almighty St. Jude," she called, her heart racing with juxtaposed feelings of desperation and faith. But just when dark clouds overshadowed her hope, the kind pastor stepped forward with a word from God, promising divine intervention. Miracles await those who believe. But doubt crept in with quiet persistence. Each evening, prayer seemed to echo in a hollow chamber, and the burdens of reality weighed heavily on Mary. Torn between belief in the power of prayer and the lure of quick remedies, she sought alternatives. In the sanctity of her struggle, her heart ached against the chill of uncertainties. Then came that fateful night of prayer, the air charged with tension. The villagers sensed something profound was unfolding. In an almost surreal moment, Daniel, frail and weak, seemed to stir in spirit. Mary gasped, the air shimmered, a warm light enveloped him. There he stood, under the gaze of countless eyes, rising like a phoenix. The miracle felt surreal yet undeniably present, flowing through them like a tidal wave of faith and joy. Yet, as the village erupted in a joyous chorus, Mary's heart stumbled over new questions. Was this the divine resolution? Or merely the first sign of a deeper truth yet to be revealed, ushering them into a new chapter of faith? With wonder etched on her face, she whispered a prayer for understanding, her soul aching for more of the divine mystery that awaited them just beyond the horizon. As the celebrations echoed in the village square, a sense of clarity washed over Mary. Daniel, standing renewed before her, embodied not just hope, but a profound reminder that faith often beckons greater depths beyond a single miracle. The joyous cries of the villagers, the laughter of children, and the warmth of the flickering lights all merged into a harmonious symphony of restoration. But within her heart lay a whisper, a call to delve deeper into this sacred moment. That night, after the villagers had danced and rejoiced, Mary found herself alone in her small home. The moonlight streamed through the window, casting a silver glow onto the floor. Her heart swelled with gratitude for Daniel's healing, yet shadows of doubt loomed around the edges of her joy. What if this was not the end? What if the true miracle was yet to unfold? Holding her son tightly, she marveled at his soft laughter and vibrant spirit, but with each chuckle, questions flickered like the candles in the chapel. What lay beneath the surface of this miraculous event? Could it be that the divine was preparing the village for an even greater revelation, a transformation that reached far beyond what they could see? As she contemplated these thoughts, she felt a strange stirring within, a yearning for deeper understanding, a pull towards faith that transcended her immediate reality. Morning arrived with soft light filtering through the curtains. Mary rose early, her heart full of resolve. She resolved to seek counsel from the pastor, a man of wisdom who had borne the weight of many burdens. Perhaps he held insights that could illuminate her fears and guide her understanding. At the chapel, the pastor welcomed her with his gentle smile. "Mary, the light of God shines brightly within you," he said, sensing her inner turmoil. "What weighs heavily on your spirit?" Kneeling before him, Mary poured out her heart. "Daniel is healed, but I feel there is so much more to this miracle. I cannot shake the feeling that this is only the beginning of something profound." The pastor nodded thoughtfully, his eyes reflecting a knowing glimmer. Indeed, miracles often serve as gateways, portals to deeper truths. What if Daniel's healing is calling you to embrace a new journey of faith? To awaken the miraculous not just within your family, but throughout the entire village? Mary's heart raced at the thought. The pastor leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Miracles are meant to ignite a fire within us, to awaken our spirits to the collective journey we are on. Each answer reveals a deeper question waiting to be explored. What if their collective prayers were merely the first step, leading towards an even greater vision God had for them all? Could it possess the power to transform not just their circumstances, but their hearts as well?" As they spoke, a deep sense of purpose filled Mary. With renewed determination, she knew she must rally the village once more. They needed to share their stories, their testimonies of faith, and look for the divine threads woven through their lives. Later that evening, she stood before the gathered villagers once more, her voice clear and filled with passion. "Let us come together to seek the deeper meaning of what has happened. We are invited into a journey of transformation, a path towards miracles yet to come." The villagers leaned in, faces glowing with intrigue and excitement. But in the back of her mind, a question danced just out of reach, inviting her to explore further. Could it be that the true miracle lay not solely in healing, but in the transformative power of their collective faith? As the night wore on, the air thick with possibility, Mary felt the weight of the moment. Behind every prayer uttered, behind every gaze fixed on the light, there rested a profound truth waiting to be revealed. Would they uncover it together, or would their journey lead them somewhere beyond their wildest imaginations? The following morning dawned with a soft, golden light spilling across the village. Mary awoke with a new fervor in her heart. Today felt different. There was an electric sense of anticipation in the air, as if the very breath of the Creator was stirring in the gentle rustle of the leaves. She gathered her thoughts and set forth with a determined spirit. This day would be a day of revelation. As she walked through the narrow streets, the sunlight kissed her cheeks, illuminating the path ahead. Villagers waved, their faces bright with smiles, yet she noticed something deeper. Each face bore the imprint of hope, the shadow of something unspoken hovering just beneath the surface. She felt an overwhelming need to connect, to link their hearts, to awaken the stories that had lain dormant for so long. In the village square, she stood upon a low stone ledge, her heart racing, her breath steady. "Brothers and sisters," she called, her voice ringing with conviction. "The healing of Daniel has touched more than just our family. It is a spark, a joyful declaration that we are meant for more. Let us gather our stories, let us share our trials, and begin to see the greater works of God amongst us." A few murmurs circulates through the crowd, curious eyes meeting hers. Mary felt a wave of encouragement swell inside. "I invite you to share your own miracles. Those moments when hope broke through despair, when light dispelled darkness. Together, we can create a tapestry of faith that honors our Creator." Slowly, hands began to rise. First, it was old Thomas, his voice shaking like the leaves in a breeze. "I recall the time my farm was barren, and yet, through prayer, the rains came. My harvest saved my family. His words resonated like a drumbeat, each heart in the crowd fluttering in agreement. Another voice emerged, this time Grace, a young mother. My son was ill. We feared the worst. But through our prayers, he was restored, as if embraced by angels. Gasps of astonishment and joy rippled through the group. With each testimony shared, Mary's heart soared higher. Each story was a thread woven into the greater narrative of their faith, a montage of trials, triumphs, and divine intervention. The testimonies struck a chord deep within, igniting a flame of unified purpose. Do you see? Mary gestured passionately. These moments are not just ours. They are stepping stones, leading us to a more profound understanding of God's work among us. We must cherish them, speak them, and let them guide us to the miraculous shift ahead. The crowd began to buzz, excitement spiraling around them. The air thrummed with energy, and warm laughter punctuated the exchange of stories. Yet within Mary, a new stirring awoke, a whisper that reminded her there was still more to unfold. As stories flowed, she felt an unexplainable peace settle upon her, as though a divine presence was preparing the way. But what would come next? The pastor's words echoed in her mind, igniting her yearning for something beyond their expectations. What if this awakening was just a prelude to something deeper? A transformation not just for our hearts but for our entire village? She closed her eyes momentarily, absorbing the presence of the moment. What if our faith could bring forth a wave of miracles, not bound by our limited understanding? A revelation that transcends our individual lives? As the villagers stood together, drawn by a shared commitment to their faith and community, Mary felt an extraordinary wonder begin to unfold. But in her heart, a question lingered: what awaited them beyond this awakening? What divine plan was being woven into the tapestry of their lives, waiting to reveal its magnificent purpose? Her spirit quaked with anticipation. It felt like a gently poised moment before a leap of faith. With each heartbeat, the promise of something greater lingered on the horizon. Would they be ready to embrace it? As the sun climbed higher, its rays spilled warmth onto the villagers, illuminating their faces with a renewed radiance. Mary stepped down from the ledge, the echoes of shared testimonies still dancing in her mind. She could sense the bond forming among them, each individual's story adding threads of hope to a larger picture. Their hearts beat as one, forging a connection that felt almost sacred. Yet, amidst the joy, she discerned a yearning in the back of her soul, a desire to dive deeper into this awakening. The very air felt charged, pulsating with possibility. She turned to the crowd, her spirit ignited. Let us not merely celebrate what has been, but embrace what is yet to come. I invite you all to cleanse your hearts of doubt. We are standing on the cusp of transformation. A soft murmur of agreement rolled through the villagers. It was not just excitement, it was a trust being nurtured. She felt it ripple among them, tender yet strong. Come together tonight, she urged, as the stars grace our sky. Let us fill this space with prayer and praise. Let us truly seek divine guidance for our future. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm, witnessing the curiosity build in their expressions. As the sun began its descent, the village prepared for the evening gathering. Lanterns were hung and the aroma of bread baking filled the air. Mary busied herself with preparations, while her heart fluttered with anticipation for the gathering. Each flickering light reminded her of the prayers that had gone up, illuminating the path before them. When night fell, the villagers gathered under the awning of stars, their faces aglow in the soft lantern light. Mary stood again before them, surrounded by the glow of hope that honored their shared journey. She began, Tonight, we relinquish our fears. We lift our voices together, united by the belief that the miraculous awaits us. Her words resonated like a melody in the stillness, igniting the night with fervent hope. As they commenced singing hymns, a gentle breeze whispered through the night, carrying their praises upward. The sound quivered in the air, mingling with the stars as if deity itself was listening, intertwining their voices with the universe. In that moment, something profound happened. A hush fell over the crowd. Mary opened her eyes to witness a spiral of light descend from the heavens. It danced above them, golden, radiant, casting glimmers upon the villagers' faces. Murmurs of awe swelled. Is this a sign? Clara whispered, clutching her daughter's hand. Mary trembled with a mixture of joy and reverence. Could it be a message of encouragement? A promise of what is to come? The crowd held their breath, moments stretching like eternity. Now let us pray! Mary exclaimed, her voice lifting into the night, summoning each heart to pour forth its deepest longing. Let us ask for guidance, for understanding. We need clarity for the road ahead. The villagers bowed their heads in unison. Mary closed her eyes tightly, pressing her palms together, feeling the electricity of expectancy ignite around her. Minutes passed, yet those moments felt charged, alive with divine whispers. Each heartbeat echoed the collective prayer for revelation. Finally, as they released their prayers into the ether, the spiral of golden light flickered, gently weaving its way closer to the ground. Gasps enveloped the crowd, filled with awe and wonder. Then, a solid voice broke through the gasps. Young David exclaimed with childlike wonder, "Look at the light! Is it guiding us?" Mary felt the urgency rise within her. Yes. It feels like an invitation. An invitation to search deeper and seek out the wonders God has in store for us. This is just the beginning. As the villagers gazed at the luminous orb, they sensed the stirring of something magnificent, veiled yet waiting to reveal itself. They stood poised on the edge of revelation, hearts beating in rhythm with the universe. What awaited them within this divine invitation? Would they venture forth into the depths of their faith and claim the transformation promised to them? Hope swelled, the night whispered possibilities. As the golden light hovered gently, it seemed to pulse with life, glowing brighter with each moment of connected faith. Mary opened her eyes and looked deep into the souls surrounding her. She could see the reflections of hope and wonder sparkling within each pair. It was as if this radiant orb was fueling their anticipation, stirring something ancient and yearning deep within them. Do not be afraid of what is to come, she urged the villagers, her voice soft yet impactful. Embrace it. This light calls to the dreams you have tucked away. It invites you to step closer to the promise of transformation. A ripple of murmured affirmation flowed through the crowd as they considered her words. Each person, lost in their own contemplations, began to share glances filled with understanding. Clara squeezed her daughter's hand tighter, eyes wide with both fear and excitement. "Is it truly for us?" she whispered, the question hanging heavily in the air. Mary felt the weight of the inquiry, recognizing that doubt often dances hand in hand with hope. "Yes," she declared, her voice rising with conviction. "This promise is not just for a chosen few, it's for all of us. The path toward divine transformation begins with belief." The villagers straightened their backs, visibly affected by her words. They nodded, their faces shifting from uncertainty to determination. The atmosphere swelled with faith, a depth that felt tangible. They were ready to journey bravely into the unknown, guided by the warmth of that divine light. "Let us focus on the depths of our hearts," Mary continued, sensing that they were on the verge of significant change. "What do we truly yearn for? What blessings do we seek?" With each inquiry, the crowd became quieter, reflecting on their innermost hopes. Slowly, heartfelt words began to arise like petals unfurling from a bud. Unity, healing, restoration, their voices merged, lifting softly to the heavens, intertwining with the light as if to invite it closer. As they prayed aloud, the luminous spiral pulsed with response, responding to their innermost dreams. It twinkled, weaving down through the air until it settled silently among them, cloaked in mystery yet undeniably present. Unexpectedly, a soft laughter erupted from a child standing near the front. "Mommy, the light is happy!" she exclaimed, causing some to chuckle, yet it struck a chord of truth. "Yes." Mary couldn't help but agree. "Perhaps it is. A joy that echoes our faith." Her heart swelled with warmth, realizing just how the innocence of youth could illuminate the profound. A gentle breeze swirled around them, stirring the darkness now infused with light. Mary closed her eyes, savoring the sweet scent of fresh earth and night-blooming flowers. "Tonight, we make a pact with the divine, to hold on to our faith, trusting in this miraculous shift," she proclaimed. With that, they joined hands, forming a circle that glimmered in the night. Every heart was connected. They took a collective breath, a moment of sacred stillness where time itself seemed to collapse. Then, just as carefully, Mary invited, "Let us close our eyes, bow our heads, and listen. Listen for what the light may reveal." The crowd complied, and a thick silence enveloped them, amplifying the pulsations of their hopes and dreams. In that stillness, something remarkable transpired, not with thunderous applause or brilliant displays, but with a soft whisper that reverberated through the air. "You are not alone," it seemed to say, the resonance wrapping them like a warm embrace. What did this mysterious message mean? What path would they follow now that the invitation had been so clearly cast? The question stung with anticipation, propelling their spirits to explore deeper still. A new wave of expectancy washed over them, sweeping through as the night stretched on what awaited them in the lessons yet to unfold. Would they be bold enough to seek the light and heed the call? The stillness settled, cocooning the villagers in a warm embrace of expectancy. As they stood together, bound by faith, the air thickened with an electric energy, a tangible reminder that something profound was unfolding. Overheads, the stars shimmered like scattered jewels, attuning themselves to the heartbeat of this sacred gathering. Mary took a deep breath, feeling the quiet desperation of their hopes swirling around her. "Look for the signs," she murmured as she opened her eyes once more. "Signs that the divine dances among us." Her voice echoed softly, lifting hearts beyond the confines of earthbound limitations. In that moment, she sensed a change. It wasn't just a flicker of light. It was a cascade of understanding that washed over her. "Each of you carries a spark, a seed of purpose waiting to bloom," she said, her eyes meeting those of her fellow villagers. "Open your hearts to what the light reveals. The transformation is unfolding." In the surrounding circle, faces began to shimmer with newfound understanding. Clara, still holding her daughter's hand, felt warmth radiate from where they stood. She closed her eyes, heart pounding, asking silently for guidance. Suddenly, the child piped up again, "I see colors." Her innocent voice cut through the layers of silence, drawing laughter and smiles. But then Mary realized it wasn't frivolous. No, it was as if the child was seeing beyond the veil of reality, touched by a vision most adults had long forgotten. She nodded knowingly and encouraged, "What colors do you see, sweet one?" "It's like a rainbow. And it's all around us, it's everywhere." The little girl twirled with delight, her laughter intermingling with the light as it swayed gently, as if responding to her joy. Mary's heart soared at the child's faith. Just as a rainbow appears after rain, so too can beauty rise from moments of despair. Embrace those colors, my dear friends. They are the promise of the divine. With each revelation, the villagers began to share their own experiences. One man spoke of feeling a lightness in his spirit he hadn't known in years. Another, a wavering woman, voiced the inexplicable peace washing through her heart. "It's as if burdens are slipping away," she exclaimed, wide-eyed with wonder. The crowd buzzed with shared testimonies of awakening. There was power in the air, a sense of a collective unveiling of purpose, as if the heavens had pulled back a curtain for them to see a glimpse of their destined paths. Yet amidst the revelations, Mary felt a stirring within her spirit. What if this is merely the beginning? She pondered internally. What further truths awaited discovery? As if to answer her, the golden light brightened, cascading brilliant warmth across their circle, entangling their hopes ever tighter. "Speak your visions," she called out, pushing the crowd to ignite their voices further. "What more do you seek from this divine moment? What does your soul yearn for?" Their responses grew bolder, each offering shaping the atmosphere. "Strength, wisdom, clarity," echoed from one mouth to another, building as if lifted by angelic wings. Mary sensed the divine energy swirling, encouraging them on. "Seek the signs. They might not always be what you expect. Do not be discouraged if they come in unexpected forms. What if they lead you to doors you've yet to see?" The villagers nodded earnestly, murmuring their newfound sentiments into the chilly night. As the light pulsed higher, the air thickened once more. The message from before reverberated in Mary's spirit, "You are not alone." But what did that truly mean for them moving forward? An ancient journey was on the horizon, leading them beyond their fears and doubts. They had tasted but a morsel of the divine promise, but the banquet of transformation awaited. The whispers of the light called them onward, inviting their willingness to embrace the full spectrum of the miraculous shift unfolding. How would they recognize the divine signs? How would they respond to the relentless call of their awakened spirits? The night was just beginning, and so was their fate. Intertwined with the luminous plan at play. What lay ahead in this sacred dance of faith and light? Would they truly be brave enough to step into the unknown? The energy in the air pulsed gently, wrapping around the villagers like a warm, loving embrace. Mary's heart swelled as she soaked in the hopes and dreams rolling off her friends like waves lapping at the shore. Together, they were on the edge of something miraculous. "Let us pause for a moment," she said, her voice cutting through the murmurs. "In silence, let us listen to what the divine has to whisper to our hearts." A hush fell over the gathering. The crickets sang softly in the background, their sounds becoming part of the sacred stillness. Mary closed her eyes, allowing her spirit to open up like a flower to the sun. She felt the warmth of their collective faith rising, blending into the stillness around them. Then, a soft fluttering of feathers swept through the air, commanding attention. A majestic dove glided overhead, circling once before resting upon the roof of the old chapel. Gasps rippled through the villagers. "Did you see that?" whispered an elder, his eyes wide with awe. "A sign! Surely, that dove carries the divine message." Mary smiled, her heart echoing the excitement. "Yes. The dove symbolizes peace and the presence of the Holy Spirit among us. Let this be a reminder to each of us: we are seen, we are loved." As she spoke, the little girl, still radiant with joy, lifted a finger toward the dove. "Look! It's glowing!" she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with delight. The crowd leaned in, gazing at the snowy creature perched there. Indeed, a halo of light seemed to surround it, casting a gentle glow against the night. Conversations erupted, filled with wonder and curiosity. "What does this mean for each of us?" a man asked, scratching his chin thoughtfully. Mary met his gaze, an inner knowing igniting her spirit. "It means that the divine speaks through these moments of beauty. It beckons us forward into the unity of spirit and purpose. Every glimmer of light, every flutter of wings, is an invitation." Courage swelled in the hearts of her friends as they began to ask deeper questions. What if we are meant to follow a new path? To mend broken relationships? To reach out to those in need? The air felt charged with new possibilities, each thought spinning like stars in the night sky. Mary sensed the atmosphere thickening, charged with the promise of transformation. "True understanding often comes when we dare to ask the hard questions," she said. "So let us not shy away. What does your soul cry out for?" For when we uncover our truths, we take steps toward our collective awakening. One brave soul responded first. "I yearn for courage to live authentically." "Yes," chimed another, "and I seek wisdom for my journey." With each voice that rose, the energy intensified, creating a tapestry of shared intentions woven tightly within the circle. It began to feel as though the stars themselves blinked in rhythm with their hopes. The dove watched silently, a still sentinel above them, as each prayer seemed to float upward like incense toward the heavens. And then, just as Mary began to feel the swell of gratitude rising within her, darkness crept in slowly. A shadow passed overhead. The dove took flight, its wings brushing the air with an urgency that felt both alarming and exhilarating. "What is happening?" Clara gasped, clutching her daughter. The crowd held its breath, anticipation electrifying the air. Mary furrowed her brow, wrestling with a growing urgency. Could this be a sign that we must move quickly? That the time is now? Suddenly, a voice from the periphery shouted, "Look over there!" The villagers turned to see an ethereal light breaking forth from the trees at the edge of the gathering. It pulsed like a heartbeat, calling to them, promising revelation. "Follow it!" Mary exclaimed, her heart racing. "Together, we can uncover what lies just ahead." What will this journey reveal? The night beckoned them forward, drawing them into the mystery waiting at the edge of their understanding, whispering of untold wonders they would discover in the divine light. What awaited them in the embrace of the unknown? Only their faith could guide the way. As the villagers exchanged glances, a shared determination blossomed among them. Mary stepped forward, feeling the energy pull her closer to the luminous light ahead. "Let us step into this together," she urged, her voice steady yet filled with anticipation. The group began to move, a collective heartbeat echoing in their steps, guided by the nearly surreal glow emerging from the thicket. With each stride, the air crackled with electric possibility, as if the very heavens were echoing their faith. "Is it truly safe?" someone whispered, voice trembling with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Mary turned to face them, her eyes ablaze with reassurance. "When we walk in faith, we place our hands in the hands of the divine. Safety is found in obedience, even in the unknown." The weight of her words lingered, knitting the group together. They continued onward, drawn by that beckoning light, feeling the cool night air warm with each shared breath of courage. Mary could sense their spirits lifting, lighting up like stars emerging from the night sky. As they neared the trees, the glow morphed into something more, a shimmering outline that seemed to dance among the branches. A gentle breeze spiraled through, whispering soft messages and carrying with it the scent of blooming flowers. It felt sacred, like a hidden promise waiting to unfold. "Listen!" Clara's voice floated above the rustling leaves. The villagers fell silent. From the depths of the trees, a melody began to weave through the night. It was ethereal, almost angelic, lifting their hearts and opening their spirits further. It was music of hope, beckoning them onward, intertwined with their prayers. Mary couldn't hold back a joyful smile. "Each note carries our intentions. Listen to the sound of your truth." The villagers nodded, and some began to hum along, their voices harmonizing with the melody. An invigorating peace settled over them, flowing like a soothing river through their souls. The luminous figure at the heart of the trees began to take shape. It glimmered, a representation of the hope they had been collectively nurturing. Each villager saw their own hopes reflected in its light, a tapestry woven from the fabric of their faith. "Let us share what we see," Mary encouraged. "What do we feel in this moment?" "I see healing," an elder exclaimed, tears glistening in his eyes. "I see forgiveness," another voice chimed, carrying weight that reverberated across the gathering. Then came the words that lingered in the heart, "I see love uniting us." The harmony of voices filled the air, wrapping them in warmth. With every spoken truth, the figure's light grew stronger, its glow pulsating with encouragement and reassurance. Mary felt overwhelmed by the divine presence. The shining dove that had blessed their gathering had returned, perched upon a nearby branch, its gentle coos echoing encouragement. It was a reminder, a sign that their earnest intentions were heard and cherished. But suddenly, the light pulsed and flickered. The wondrous figure shimmered before them like a dream about to vanish. "What is happening?" A voice trembled, fear creeping into the hearts of the villagers once more. "Stay connected," Mary urged, her heart quickening. "Our journey is not over. What awaits us is more profound than we can imagine." The melody grew louder, swelling with energy and urgency, compelling them to clasp hands and form a united circle. "Let the power of our shared faith safeguard our hopes." In that sacred moment, Mary felt a stirring deep within her spirit, as if the very essence of God was when they needed it most. Yet, the glow before them dimmed again, whispering a poignant truth: the divine has so much more ahead. Are you ready to embrace what comes next? As shadows danced between hope and fear, the villagers realized they stood on the threshold of something monumental. The gentle breeze brought the fragrant promise of what was to come, urging them into the unfolding mystery. What awaits them as they stand in this holy threshold? Would they overcome the darkest shadows together to receive the miraculous gifts awaiting them? Only their journey would unveil the next divine chapter. As the villagers formed a circle, gripping each other's hands tightly, a sense of harmony wrapped around them like a warm embrace. The air was alive with anticipation. They could feel the glow surging stronger again, pulsing like a heartbeat matching their own. Mary closed her eyes, letting the cool breeze fill her lungs, and she inhaled deeply, whispering a silent prayer of gratitude. The music swelled, weaving through the forest, urging their spirits to rise further. "This is it," she thought, the divine calling resonating within her. "What we are about to witness will change everything." Around her, the villagers began to sway gently, caught in the rhythm of hope. It was as if the world around them held its breath, waiting for the moment of revelation. With each note, they were reminded of their shared stories, the struggles they had faced, and the faith that had carried them through. It was a collective testament to their resilience, a bond deeper than words. As Mary opened her eyes, she saw the luminous figure shimmer more vibrantly, revealing delicate features and soft, welcoming eyes. The light expanded, shining like the dawn breaking after a long dark night. Each villager stood entranced, their fears melting away under the presence of such love. "Feel the love," a soft voice echoed, resonating within each heart. "You are beloved, and you are not alone." Mary looked around and saw tears flowing freely, not of sadness but of joy, relief, and connection. Each tear was a drop of healing light, falling to the earth and nourished by their unity. "Speak," urged Mary, emboldened by the moment. "Let your voices rise like aromas of sweet incense to the heavens." Confessions of faith mingled with the music. A child declared, "I see strength emerging in the face of troubles." The elder from earlier proclaimed, "I see purpose unfolding in all our journeys." Another voice added, "I see our pasts becoming stepping stones to our future." Every word sparked a glow from the figure, each truth unfurling like petals of a blooming flower. The villagers felt emboldened, not just by the words spoken but by the realization that their hopes were interconnected, a tapestry of divine potential woven through their spirits. Yet, just as quickly as their joy soared, a shadow flickered across the light. "What does this mean?" Clara gasped, her voice trembling again. "Weren't we promised clarity?" Mary narrowed her focus, recalling her own murmurs of doubt. "Trust that uncertainty can reveal more," she called out. "What lies beyond worry? Let us lift beyond what we understand and lean into the unknown." Still, doubt persisted as the light began to fade again. Mary sensed the villagers growing restless. She took a deep breath, feeling the stirring of divine purpose rise within her. "What we must know is already within us," she reminded, firm in her conviction that faith was about embracing the unseen. In that moment, their entwined hands felt electric. "Let our faith in each other forge a path where doubt cannot tread." Mary's voice rang out, a clarion call echoing back through the trees. The villagers straightened, hearts buoyed by her resolve, and together, they began to chant, spiritual energy rippling around them. Suddenly, the light burst forth, enveloping them in a brilliant glow stronger than before. Each villager felt a tether in their spirit strings connecting their hearts and minds to the divine. "You are on the brink of transformation," the voice echoed again, clearer now, "but will you trust this moment?" In the midst of the unexpected illumination, Mary felt her spirit lift higher, ready for whatever sacred shift awaited them. An invitation to embrace the miraculous unfolded, tangling the edges of their fears. What were they to uncover as they stood on the cusp of this divine shift? Would their newfound courage lead them to answers long sought? A wave of uncertainty swirled with mounting hope, hanging between them like the promise of dawn. The mysteries of faith still beckoned ahead. The air was thick with reverence, as dawn broke over the village, casting a golden hue upon the gathering of hopeful souls. Mary stood at the forefront, her heart alive with an expectancy that pulsed through every villager, an unbroken chain of faith. They had journeyed far, venturing through uncertainty and emerging into the light, but what remained was still cloaked in the divine mystery yet to be unfolded. "Good morning, my beloved community," she spoke, her voice steady yet filled with burning passion. "Yesterday, we felt the call, the invitation to awaken to something greater. Today, let us embrace that call and open our spirits to the divine journey ahead." Excitement rippled through the crowd, anticipation swirling in the crisp morning air. Each villager felt bit by bit the warmth of hope surrounding them like an embrace. The golden light from the dawn seemed to wrap around them, instilling a deep sense of renewal. As they gathered in the village square, Mary invited them to share what their hearts had witnessed, the insights that the divine had whispered during the night. One by one, hands rose, voices shared the beauty they had experienced. Each story interwove with the next, forming an intricate tapestry of transformation. I saw visions of healing, a wave of joy sweeping across the land. An elder exclaimed, his face aglow with energy. Unity. Love. A strength I never knew was inside me. Clara added, her voice quivering with emotion. With every testimony shared, Mary felt the throbbing heartbeat of a new beginning. This is no longer just a story of Daniel's healing, it's the beginning of a miraculous resurrection in all our lives. God has ignited a fire of faith that can transform our village. The villagers listened, their hearts beating in rhythm with Mary's words. They realized the depth of their collective awakening. It wasn't just about physical healing or personal dreams. It was about an entire community rising together, each life touching another. Each miracle previously shared was an invitation to greater understanding. Yet Mary sensed a quiet ache still nestled in the back of her heart. Was this truly the final revelation? She had traversed through doubts, shifts, and promises, but would they step forth into the fullness of what lay ahead? Then a gentle breeze whisked through the square, as if the Spirit itself was present. "Let us not lose sight of what is now unfolding," she urged, feeling both their trepidation and excitement. "We must move forward together. What lies ahead demands our courage. Will you join me?" "Yes," echoed the crowd, their voices rising as one chorus of affirmation. With renewed fire, Mary suggested they pray for guidance. As heads bowed, the villagers closed their eyes, the sacred silence filling the air. And as they prayed, a rush of energy enveloped the village. "I feel it," a voice quaked softly. "The ground is vibrating." A sudden tremor pulsed through the earth beneath them, as if nature itself sung in response. Mary opened her eyes, witnessing a light shimmering in the distance. "Look!" she shouted. "The divine light beckons." Eagerly, the villagers turned, eyes wide, hearts racing. The luminous orb had returned, swirling above them as it danced gracefully through the air. This time, it pulsed in harmony with their prayers, a bright emblem of the sacred calling that lay ahead. "Are you ready to follow it?" Mary called out, her voice breaking through the waves of awe. "Yes," they responded, filled with a fervor that surged through them like a tidal wave. Together they moved as one, stepping into the light that called them beyond the familiar. As they journeyed forward, Mary felt an immense peace wash over her. The weight of uncertainty that had so recently pressed upon her shoulders had lifted. The village of her heart was standing together, ready to embrace the unknown. Through winding paths, they discovered blossoming fields and vibrant flora that seemed to bloom in response to their faith. Wonders unfolded before them, each step an invitation into the miraculous, each moment revealing the tapestry of God's love woven through their lives. As they ventured forth, they heard the echoes of laughter from children playing, the whispers of old folks sharing wisdom, and the gentle rustling of leaves, all blending into a joyful communion of creation. "What a sight!" Clara exclaimed, clutching her daughter, her eyes reflecting the divine spectacle unfolding before them. Mary's heart swelled with gratitude, realizing that the miracle was far more expansive than she could ever have imagined. The healing spark ignited within them all had become a flame that enveloped the entire village. Every soul present was a testament to the community's resilience, strength, and faith intertwined. "We are not just witnesses to transformation," she declared, filled with a playful urgency. "We are the very light shining in the world. Together, we are a reflection of hope and love." With hands interlocked, they stood together, a circle of hearts ready to embark on this divine journey. As the sun climbed higher, bathing them in warmth, a profound sense of understanding settled within Mary. This wasn't merely the end of an experience, it was a powerful beginning. They were stepping into a story that would continue to unfold, a narrative of miracles woven together by their unwavering faith. "Brothers and sisters," she called, exuberance bubbling within her. "Don't let this moment fade. Keep your hearts open. Share what you've experienced, what God has revealed." As they reveled in their unity, the orb dimmed softly and slowly ascended into the heavens, leaving behind an echo of hope resonating within each of their souls. Mary smiled as she turned to face her village, once uncertain, but now radiant with life and promise. "This is our moment. Let us carry this spark into the days to come. Together, we shall illuminate the world." The villagers cheered, their voices harmonizing like a song, filling the square with an infectious gratitude that transcended mere words, a celebration of faith, a declaration of unity, a promise to cherish the miraculous journey ahead. After all, this was simply the beginning of their divine adventure, one destined to shine brightly in the tapestry of life for generations to come. The movement of God is alive today. You need to subscribe now to catch all the incredible faith stories to come. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help this message reach the hearts that need it most. Comment below your thoughts and testimonies about your own miraculous experiences. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this divine manifestation take root in their lives. Together, we can awaken even more hearts.